right, so we have reached 1,000 subs, which is great for the channel. It will open up some new opportunities and maybe a chance to pay some bills in the future. I'd like to thank everybody who's supported the channel, who's taken the time to sub, write comments, like the videos, and just to watch the channels in the future is going to help me to pay bills and possibly get new softwares that we can look at. And so yes, thanks to you, we can move forward. I'm going to continue to make videos on what's popular, Scalar, the Orchestra Complete 2, Toontrack's products. Band in the Box has gotten some nice traction on the channel. Sonokinetic, Melodyne, a lot of great companies that I really enjoy their products and like sharing the ideas and experiments that I've come up with. So we're going to continue to look at what we've been already making videos for, but also new things in the future. I'm considering making a Patreon channel, so we could look at possibly getting new software and having the channel support itself. It can be expensive. Just keeping up with all the great new stuff that's coming out. Making a video can take several hours, but that's something I like to do anyway. I get a lot of enjoyment out of experimenting with all these softwares and whatnot. But keeping up with all the new softwares and VSTs that come out can be a bit challenging. So the Patreon might help out if that's something that gets some traction. Possibly we can move forward with getting some new ideas on the channel. Some of the ideas that could help support the Patreon idea would be, when I create a video, sometimes, like in this case, coming up with many different musical ideas and patterns, ostinatos and chord progressions. And at the end of the video, what could I do with all those MIDI patterns and stuff? So what better than to put them on Patreon? So if somebody wants to support with an extra $5 a month or something like that, I could provide all the MIDI patterns and ostinatos, chord progressions, and custom patches and multis and things like that. I could put them on the Patreon. And so that would help you if you're interested in that, and it would help the channel greatly because then we could start getting some new software. So that's what I'm thinking about as far as Patreon. And just to be able to monetize the channel by itself would be nice, and we'll start to pay a little bit of the bills. And normally on my videos lately, I haven't been asking for people to sub, like, and all that, because it can get somewhat annoying just hearing it over and over and over on all the videos and sub, and it does, after a while, it just, for me personally, watching the videos and constant asking for subs and that is on every video can be fatiguing. So I haven't really been doing that, but it does help. If you look at the stats, it does help channels grow. And the more we grow, the more things we can look at and experiment with. So I will ask on this video that if you do like the channel, please continue to support it by just watching a video. Try to watch, even if you watch a video a day, do a like, a comment, something to encourage the channel. It helps out a lot. It helps the numbers out, it helps the channel grow, and it lets me know that if I'm going to spend 4 hours on a video, that some people, it's really helping some people. And so that all adds up to making a channel that moves forward. Now, the channel up until now, well, in the last several months, almost all year really, has been solely dedicated to music orchestration, and it's something I've really been trying to grow with and learn and experiment with, and it's been great. But if you look at my beginning, the first videos on the channel, they were 3D videos because that's really where things started. Way back in the day, I started in photography, Photoshop, which led into 3D and getting into games and environmental game design, which led into creating 3D vehicles for national print work for larger companies. And so there's a lot more to creative ideas. And the channel originally was set out to be, 3D creative ideas. What was then Photoshop is now Affinity. Like Affinity products are way more cost effective. But it was a mixture of all kinds of creative ideas, music, visual, and if we take a look at Affinity, some of the ideas, and we could do videos and talk about game art. Really, game art is progressing hugely, and love to talk about game design and environments and things like that. And also 3D modeling is something I really enjoy, and I've used Modo in the past for modeling, and so which led into let's see, trying to call out the right one here, to designing cars from scratch. So once I got more into 3D, had the opportunity to create 3D cars for print work for some of the big corporations, and they used to photograph their vehicles, and it was a great expense for them because they had to actually fly in a helicopter to lift a Jeep onto a big butte up in Montana or whatever. It's very expensive, and so eventually when they had the chance for CGI artists to actually create those models inside the computer and to make them look realistic, they were really, really interested in that. So I kind of got in on that wave where some of the big automotive companies went from actual photography on their vehicles to making photoreal 3D vehicles. So, which then got me interested in actually designing my own cars. So that's something I love to talk about, and we could do videos on that if there's interest there. And also just more simple ideas of your backyard, taking pictures in your backyard and making a calendar out of that. These pictures here were just taken in my backyard, and then using Affinity Photo, we just composited and painted in some dew and spider webs, and you can also get into more kind of game art items, just using Affinity Photo and being creative. Also, huge interest in kind of the glory days of chrome and the automobile. Spent a lot of time photographing cars from 1930s, 40s, 50s, and doing Affinity Photo shop type of work on them. And again, just in your backyard in the garden, what you can, these are just weeds from my backyard and a caterpillar, and how you can create nice items for a calendar or a little poster you could hang up. So yeah, just different ideas that we could talk about on the channel. It doesn't always have to be about music, so if you do see some new videos on varied topics, those are some ideas we could talk about. And also, there are some really great softwares we haven't looked at all yet, like Quad Spinner's Gaia, which creates and models 3D terrain and erosion in a really high detail. And this is just one example of a company and a software that is really at the cutting edge, where you can create craters, moonscapes, eroding riverbeds, volcanoes, mountain regions, all in high detail, following the laws of erosion, gravity, and all very interesting displacement and different ways that can all be done in 3D. So there are a lot of things happening in the creative world. There are some other softwares that I would like to showcase and talk about. And these are all creative ideas that one can do at home in a computer You don't have to be part of a big studio or company, and you can really be creative at home. So I look forward to the next year in on the channel, and how we can move forward together. And again, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to support this channel. It means a lot. And we shall see you on the next video.